Hold on 1 second. It's just pulling up on Zoom on Facebook.
Okay.
All right, bud, you're live.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Today is April the 2nd, 2020. I don't know if we had any good April Fools. A couple of people were probably having a lot of fun with it. My wife also, she snagged me several times, so I forgot it was April already. Time flies because March was about 17 weeks long. And I don't know how April will be. But anyway, we're in April and we've got something really interesting. We've got a serious crisis going on. So my message is, don't waste this crisis. It's actually from Dan Burke mentioned that. It's a short window of opportunity. And I say short window, it's a couple of months of opportunity where we've got a very, very interesting level playing field for everybody. So the biggest problem right now is uncertainty. Nobody has a clue, nobody, of exactly what's happening, how long it's going to go on, what's going to happen. We don't know. So this uncertainty causes fear, stress, cloudy thoughts, irrational behavior. You know, imagine the shop, you can't buy toilet paper. Why? What's that got to do with anything? Seriously? It's irrational behavior. We've got, in the bad side, we've got claustrophobic situation at home, domestic violence increase, stir crazy, cabin fever. You know, there are a lot of bad things, but for every bad thing, there's some pretty good things. We've got family time, which means improved communications. Collective fear actually has an upside. It's a better bonding, more empathy, creativity with the use of time. It's a good things. So bad times bring out the good in people. Creativity blooms. On our next door app, some lady put on the app that she wanted to have her daughter on her bike rides. She wanted to see if we could entertain her by putting any teddy bear anywhere visible where she could bike ride around the neighborhood and see how many teddy bears they could spot. And the response was overwhelming. Now, in normal times, who is going to go and put teddy bears in the window? But here we all are, everybody's out there, you know, responding to this mother's creativity with her daughter for her bike rides. Within hours, overwhelming response. Why do I tell you this? Because now we have the real attention of people and they have the time to focus. And we have the time to create real intention. So we've got their attention, but it's up to us to create the real intention. So, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I did this last night. I put in for all kinds of hours and I missed the page. Okay, so Simon Sinek has got a new book and it's called Together is Better. That's his latest book, Simon Sinek. He's the guy who explained everything to everybody about the why. Why do we do this? Why we should do this? Why companies work in this way? So Simon Sinek's book, the Together is Better. And actually we're social animals. We need each other. Yesterday, the firemen drove outside the hospitals of New York, just a bunch of firemen. And for 5 minutes, they had their sirens going and they had their clapping and everybody, you know, applauding the heroes in the hospitals. This is a big deal. These people are out there at the forefront of a major issue. And the firemen all come together. Cuomo was talking about wanting volunteers. And I didn't remember, he wanted, I don't know, a certain number of volunteers. And like tenfold people volunteered. So we're social animals, and we need to have our support, the support of others with us. It's a very lonely thing to try and be on your own. So we've got a new why now. We've got a new why because we're forced to rethink the prioritization of everything we have. The sudden game changer in future is in the future will be at the forefront, will be health. You know, we took it for granted. So whenever we have our why, very few people would have put there, I want to really make sure that I'm healthy and that I'm taking care of my family for the health part of it. So health is going to be at the forefront of our new why. And financial stability, that's another one, the big one in the why. Why? Because right now, the traditional healthcare has changed. The traditional financial structure that we've had, that we've relied on, that we've all thought would never go away. My God, 6 million Americans are going to be unemployed. And the future we're looking at a lot of different changes. Telemedicine in the health sector. You know, technologies at home. So we've got to rethink our why. And the why in the future will have a big issue, will have to do with health and finance. And now's a good time to think about it. So Cynic says your why is the sum total of who you are, how you were raised, your lessons learned. So my question is, what is your why? I will tell you what my why is. My why is to live with trust and integrity. Why? Because it gives me credibility. My dad taught me when I was a kid. He said, listen, he said, you only have one thing in life, one thing, and that's your name. You can have money and lose it, friends and lose it, health and lose it, but your name is the only thing you'll always have. Don't screw it up. Look after it, and it'll look after you. So why is the origin of a story? So attract people who believe what you believe, and be attractive to people who believe what you believe. So why do I say this? Because we're forming teams of people, our team. We're forming our business partners. We're forming our teams. We're forming the friendship within this group. And I'll mention that in a second. So Nu Skin allows me to do exactly all of the above that I'm talking about. It's one of the top 100 most trustworthy companies in the US. That's huge. Nourish the children. Think about that. It's 5% of what we do, but it's 95% of who we are. That's integrity, man. That's huge stuff. That is what should bring us emotionally towards should attract us to being part of something where we can all participate and grow together. So it's important to attract like-minded people. That's what this is about. So very organized people, very structured people will find that they're really panicking because all of the paradigms have all shifted. So people that are organized, planner, level-headed, will find in this turbulent situation that the environment is so changed, they don't really know what to do. They don't know how to react because they're very structured. So we've got to, in this moment of uncertainty, we've got to come out and take the ball and lead. So happiness and joy is not associated with work. I want to say that again. Happiness and joy is not associated with work. But it's associated with the people that we work with. You know, there are a big percentage of people all over the world who are not happy with their jobs. They're not happy. They need the money. They're happy with the money, maybe. But a lot of people are not happy with their work. But what makes it good are the people we work with. That's what makes it worthwhile. So, you know, we like helping and serving people. You know, we belong to church groups, we belong to social groups, clubs, and so on. And there is a camaraderie. That's why we get together with people, because we are social animals and we like to help people. We like to, you know, do what we can to help other people. So we feel valued and valuable. The Japanese trade unions have a different work ethic to the American, the Western trade unions. In Japan, the trade unions say, how can we help our company prosper? We'll do our part. In the States, it's how much can we take? How much can we get from the negotiations from our company? So motivation, teamwork means you've got to love the people you're with. Have that bonding with the people you're with. And we've got a new set of rules right now. The new set of rules aren't any. We don't really know what the hell the rules are. 10 years ago, whatever our vision was, whatever we thought, what our goals were, we had a clear thought, we had clear vision. Don't have that anymore because we don't know what's happening. How will insurance work? Health insurance, will it be? Will we have the same rules of the game? What is happening? So how do we go about big change, sudden change? Because it's easy to understand if we have contact and feel safe within that change. That's the only way. You know, the Italians, for example, were all out on their balconies with their pans and clapping this is when it first started. Because they feel in that environment, they've got something in common, and it's a common fear, but it's also a camaraderie that happens. And if we try and look at this business now, and we see that we have this uncertainty, but if we bond with the people we're trying to help, we communicate with the people we help, we can really make inroads into having a very successful team. So this week we've done several webinars, and the general theme among those webinars is to listen. So what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So this is what I think. This is what you think. So by having very good communications and by raising the listening powers that we have, we ask more questions, people feel more engaged, and they don't feel so alone. That's the whole point of having these Ruby calls now, is that we can then have people to work together with, and they say, "Oh, I thought you were doing this." No, I'm just doing this. So we can help to gauge each other, help each other. So, you know, leadership is something that is very lonely. In leadership, it takes courage. It's lonely. It's accepting responsibility where it's due, and accepting accepting credit where it's giving credit where it's due, and accepting responsibility when it happens. So one of the things that's important is, you know, there's another book that called Leaders Eat Last, and military medals are given to people who sacrifice themselves. In private sector, bonuses are given to people who sacrifice others for us to gain. No, let's do the military side. Let's sacrifice ourselves to help others. That's how we can go forward. But it's not a sacrifice if we're all in this together. So we can significantly expand our business in this crisis, and we are doing so. I have one distributor who increased his volume, his business 40% this month, 40%, and he's an emerald, and he increased 40%. So what have we got to offer? We've got something solid, a trustworthy company. We've got 36 years of experience, 5A1 trusted on the, but it's rated on the stock market. One of the top 100 companies. These are the banners we should be riding on. Science-based evidence, a trustworthy team, trustworthy products, guaranteed results, secure income based on results. The company's got the know-how. We have the know-who. And we've got to impart confidence. We've got to impart the fact that we know what we're doing. We really do know what we're doing. We have every single tool available. There are no excuses. And the biggest part now is all of this mindset. You know, this past week, somebody said, "I'm so glad you gave me a kick in the head." And it was so hard, it actually made a dent because it woke me up. And this is a person who's got several practices. I won't say what they are, but it's several practices. And he was like in a state of confusion because he's one of those particularly organized people. So we sometimes, most times, don't know what we have until we lose it. And we've had a good ride for many years on everything we're doing, on our health, on our finances, on whatever, on our families. Sometimes bumpy and rocky, of course. But suddenly, the carpet is swept out and we've got serious introspection. Now is the time to rethink and restructure and find the new why. What's the new why now? So the biggest challenge people have out there, which is that uncertainty, is the biggest asset we've got. The more uncertain people are, those are the ones we need to talk to. Come, we'll show you the way. And we'll give you the tools to work with. We'll show you how to do this. So, you know, we offer security. We offer clear direction. We allow people to find themselves and their true strengths. When somebody loses a job, you know, in a nice way, sort of, okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know what? Now you can really find out what you're made of. You can find out what you're worth, not what that job was worth. You were paid for what the job was worth, not for what you're worth. So, you know, we've got this extraordinary, extraordinary window of opportunity. It's going to last 2 months, 3, 4, 5 months, who knows? But it's an opportunity to build teams, to be ready to absolutely explode when we can put people's hands on the scanner, when we can actually see people face to face. It's going to explode. Right now, most of what we're doing is via phone calls, it's via webinars, it's via, which is fantastic. It's a new learning for us. Yesterday, we had a lesson from somebody giving us a lesson on LinkedIn. Even the most seasoned users of LinkedIn were blown away by this guy, blown away. Because we all think we know something until now we're forced to look into new territories of expertise, the communication skills. You know, Instagram, I've never done Instagram properly, I hated the idea of it. Facebook, seriously? And yet here we all are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. But so is everybody else, because it's the go-to place right now. It's a place where we all have to learn and go to. So I just want to impart that I'm really enthusiastic because we've had serious increase in people joining our teams. Seriously, serious increases. We've got constructive conversations with people who we would normally not have, those quality people, because those quality people are very successful in what they were doing and what they hope they might be able to continue doing. But they may not even have a job. They may not even have a job in 2 months' time. You know, they're all on furlough right now. They're all on standby. We'll see where we go. There are a lot of really quality people. So it's up to us now to identify those areas where we can find those quality people. And the healthcare is a logical place to look, because that's where we are. We're in the healthcare industry. We're in the healthcare, not the sick care. Most of the everywhere, so far, the people that we've been in contact with have been in the sick care industry. We're in the healthcare industry, preventive medicine. That's the passport to the future. So I'm trying to get the mindset right, that it's not a vacation. It's a window of opportunity. And it's a window of opportunity where people are afraid. And fear makes confusion. We have a light. We have the solutions to a lot of people's questions, a lot of people's uncertainties. So I'm being generic because this is a generic field. It's uncertainty. It's your mindset. Very difficult to pinpoint exactly where we are with our mindset. But what I can say is that when you offer somebody something that makes sense, that is, by the way, common sense is the least common of the senses. I cannot imagine how many dumb people there are out there, how many absolutely dumb decisions are made. People are dumb. No common sense. It's incredible. So if you have something that makes sense, that is science-based evidence, that is something that we can rely on, that we can depend on, We have a company. We've still got everything working for us. So we've got something tangible to offer. Tangible how? Our teams. Don't take my word for it. I've got a bunch of people working that are delighted what they're doing. They're making money. They're happy. And so have you, all of you guys. And if you haven't, that's what you're building. So I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic. It's been a time to actually to read, to catch up on a lot of things that are untidy in our lives, and to be more streamlined. And the more streamlined we are, the better we can become. For example, I spent a little time on webinar on the webinar to look at my background. I mean, for me to have a techie background, seriously, I've never done that. And here I am, I'm learning, and I'm learning technology, which for me is like learning, Chinese with Russian and Mongolian influence. I have no idea, but I'm learning it, and I'm trying to make it exciting. And this is where we can encourage people that think like us. That's who we would like to attract. We'd like to attract people that think like us so that we can work together on this. So we're right on time. And I just wanted to say that when we explode with this business, because we're preparing right now, I used to have a lot of tobacco growing, and I used to watch the difference between the people who had the sugarcane farms in Colombia and the people who had other crops. The sugarcane farms were done very professionally. They leveled the fields. They made sure the irrigation was right. They had the ridges of where they were going to, through the water, the troughs where they would grow the cane were exactly the same, technologically perfect. And they would spend, literally a couple of weeks preparing the fields for their sugarcane, which was going to be in there for the next X number of years. And this is where we are. We're now in a moment of preparation for the day when Dr. Fauci says, okay, guys, we've got a hold of this thing. We've now got a herd defense. I don't know what he called it, herd defense system within us. So where our defenses within us are sufficient for us to be able to go out. By that time, the best thing we want to do is to say, sayonara, corona. But we want to be ready with our race horses, saddled, we're mounted, we know where the gates are, we know where the targets are, and that's what we got to do. Think about how absolutely privileged we are with what we have, with our company, with the teams in our company, with the people. I'm talking about the company because you obviously can go and thank a whole bunch of other people that are working around the world, but I'm just talking about our company, how we still pick up the phone and somebody's answering and saying, yeah, can I help you? Yeah, look, I got a problem with this product. Oh, hold on, here's your return label. And, yeah, I have a problem. I'd like to know something about this or that. And we have the people that can answer that. We have it all. So we've had the opportunity now to appreciate what we've got, even though we haven't had to lose it. In fact, it's strengthened us. So guys, that's what I have to say for today. I'm very, very encouraged. I'm having so many three-way phone calls every day, nonstop. I'm almost nonstop. I mean, I got literally like lunchtime that I kind of say, okay, well, and then there's somebody from a different time zone. Can you do it? Yeah, okay. So it's fun times, encouraging times. Make it fun. Your attitude will determine everything. Scott, 10:30. So anybody has any question? If you're not on mute, mute yourself. Or
Thank you, Lawrence.